Now, where are you at sponsorship-wise at this point?
We're working on sponsorship. We're just what I'm trying to do is enlighten the urban and the hip hop community to support me and get behind me because I'm gonna just be real. NASCAR fans will probably never be my fans, and what I want to do is bring that demographic to NASCAR because that's me. I live and breathe it all day, every day. So we're working on different sponsorships. I'm actually a brand ambassador for New Expressions with Bronner Brothers, their hair care line. I'm working on a documentary, and we're doing a lot of different things. My team keeps me working. Um, Shameless plug to to Eyelash Vision, Mimi and Shantae, those girls. I mean, they keep me working. So we're out here just trying. We're just out here grinding, trying to. It's hard to get people to invest in you when they know nothing about what you're doing. They know nothing about the industry, so it's hard to win them over. And honestly, I feel like I'm sitting on a gold mine, and people don't want to dig. Like, come on. It's not because I'm the first black or anything like that. It's because it's bigger than me. I can open up doors for so many other, not just black kids, just underprivileged kids that doesn't have the opportunities that a lot of people have. You know, people that never even heard about it. You know, so yeah, we're just working on that. We're working on sponsorship, trying to get people to just do their research at the least.
So when people see like NASCAR races like on TV and national TV uh, and they hear the legendary names in NASCAR like Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s and all them type of
Right.
races. When would someone be able to see you race with those type of racers? Is it at the point where you get your sponsorship level up to a certain extent for you to be in that circle of people to race amongst those type of people, or how does that part work?
Yeah, of course. It's definitely about the sponsorship. In order for me to move up, there's different tiers in NASCAR. You have your Wheeling Series, which is your entry level. You have your from Wheeling, you go to K&N, your K&N series. From K&N, you can go to Truck. From Truck, there's Xfinity and Sprint. Sprint is the top tier. That's the top creme de la creme of it. So in order to maneuver your way through those different levels, you have to have a financial backing to get you to that point. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get sponsorship to actually move up. And people, the normal person don't understand it. They don't get it. They think that, oh, you've had a license and you're not doing this or you're not doing that or you're not here, you're not there, but you don't understand the politics and the business of NASCAR and how it works. Um, I mean, that's just how it goes. You have to have that financial backing to move you and to push you to those levels. In order to move up, you have to have the money.
Now, aside from the money, what about winning races and the stats? Does that go hand in hand with the sponsorship, or is it more of a money thing over
It's more
the
of
numbers?
a it's not, it's unlike baseball or basketball. It's a total different ball game. For instance, Dale Dale hasn't won a race in years. Dale is the top paid driver in NASCAR. He hasn't won, and he's been competing in every race. He's actually about to retire. So it's not really about the stats, but of course, as an individual and as a competitor, you want your stats to be great. You want to be great. I want to be great. I want that. But when it comes to the real deal, um, if you have the sponsorship and you have the know-how and you have the skill to drive those cars and you can prove yourself on the track, you can definitely move up.
I see. So at this point, is it fair to say that it's more marketing and branding versus actual talent, racing talent?
For me,
I
or
mean,
just in general?
in general.
Um, a little bit of both. You know, you have to have the talent. You can't. I can't put you in a car and just because you have the sponsorship dollars. Don't get me wrong. You have to have the talent. Like for instance, I can't just throw you in a car and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna beat Dale Earnhardt. No, it doesn't work like that. The money just takes that driver and makes them better because you're able to compete. You're able to compete with the even playing field because you have the money to buy the engine that you need, to have the right pit crew to fix on your cars and make sure it's right. You know, you have to have the money to do that. And so, yes, it's definitely about talent. You can't just throw anybody in there. You can't just get anybody off the street and, oh, I'm going to throw you in a NASCAR because I have $5 billion. So let me just throw you in one and see if you can beat Dale. No, it doesn't work like that.
Now, how's your driving record been so far?
My driving record is, I'm working on it. It's hard to do when you don't have a financial backing to support you. Mind you, everything that I've done up to this point, we pay for ourselves. I'm not rich. I'm trying to make it, you know. So I can only do what my budget allows me to do. And I get so much slack from so many different people because they say, well, Tia, you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to have this much under your belt. And I'm like, do you have a sponsor for me? Do you have one? If you do, please forward him over so that I could definitely do what I need to do. So, yeah, I'm just working on everything. When I got my ARCA license, I had to actually qualify for that. So I felt that was a big accomplishment for me as well. So I'm just trying to get myself out there so that people can understand where I'm coming from.
Got you. Is there a meaning behind the number 34?
Yeah. Wendell Scott is the first black person, period, to ever be in NASCAR. And the crazy thing about it is he's actually won a championship and not too many people know. And that's not by coincidence, but that's another story. And his number was 34. He's from Danville, Virginia. His number was 34. And my dad, he was actually like a mentor kind of to my dad. So my dad wore the number 34 and it kind of just got passed down to me, the number 34. So yeah, it was passed down.
Now, every racer has a favorite racer. Who's yours?
Me? No, my favorite racer would have to be Richard Petty.
Why?
I just thought he was cool. And of course my dad, of course, him as well, because he didn't take nothing from them. He stood his ground and he stood for what he believed in.
Now, in terms of your skin color and racing be a predominantly white sport, is that safe to say?
Oh, very safe to say.
How accepting has the white community been towards someone like yourself?
Well, at first, not really too accepting. Mind you, NASCAR's been around for decades. It's not a coincidence that there's not many people of color in there. It started off as a bootleggers running from the police, and then they created a sport out of it. And so you know what times those were. So we were not in mind when it started. But as far as the color, my color and being accepted, it's a little static. But this is the world we live in. But not to say all. I get a lot of supporters. I really do. I have a lot of supporters. And then, of course, with all the supporters, I have a lot of haters too.
Now, aside from black and white, are there other minorities in terms of drivers you've seen with the NASCAR license?
Yeah, there are.
Like any Spanish,
Yeah,
Asian,
there's.
Indian?
Yeah, there was a Japanese, um, Mexican, and yeah, I think that's about it.
I see. Men?
Yeah, all men.
What would you say is the percentage of male versus female drivers, NASCAR speaking, licenses at this point, would you say?
80-20. 80% is male and 20% are female. If 20, if that. But there are a lot of females that race and that are good at racing. I think we kind of get overlooked a lot because we are females, but there are a lot of them out there.
And then what percentage would you say white drivers, regardless of sex, white drivers versus minority drivers? What would you say?
95, 97, 97. Yeah.
Now, what's the deal with that New York Times article?
Oh, yes. It was put out in 2013. Long story short, at the time, there was a guy working at NASCAR, Drive for Diversity program or division. And it's supposed to be for diversity, quote unquote, to bring, there were a lot of people saying that there wasn't enough diversity in NASCAR. So they put together this Drive for Diversity program for that specific reason. With that being said, prior to that, I had an interview with a lady at the time she was working for ESPNW. And so as soon as I get on the phone, it was just hostile. Like it was just negative, malicious questions that were just for no reason. So I ended the interview. She tried to reach back out to me again several times over the past couple, over the years. And I didn't deal with her. So she used to be a journalist for NASCAR. So let me tell you how it all plays out. The Drive for Diversity program, we're getting $14 million a year for their drivers. And I was getting $0 million a year from no one. And I started getting a lot of exposure on my own. And because I didn't want to be a part of the diversity program because I felt like it was a joke. And I still feel that way. I feel like it was a joke. They get the drivers and they sit them on the shelf just to please people when they ask them about the diversity in NASCAR. So it was kind of like what do you call it, a hush, just to be quiet type of thing. And so the crazy thing about it is this is a brother, one of my people that tried to cause the most harm to me because, mind you, in the business world, they're getting $14 million a year. They have several drivers. I'm getting no dollars. I'm doing campaigns for Verizon. I'm doing BT Honors. I'm out there getting my name out there on my own. And they hang their drivers up, just sit them on the shelf, just to have them. And he didn't like that. And I didn't want to be a part of diversity, so it was just not going to happen. So those two got together and they created this whole smear campaign about me, saying that I didn't have a license, saying that I wasn't affiliated with NASCAR, bringing up stuff in my past that had absolutely nothing to do with what I was doing, just trying to make me look bad to the masses. And of course, in this industry, if they make you look bad and people have to question your validity, they're not going to want to sponsor you, period. So they know that if they could take away the money, then my career would be dead anyway. So they got together, they put that out. And the crazy thing about it is in the article, which was so it was just a big contradiction. They say Tia Norfleet, that's not her name. Okay, yeah, my name is Shantia Norfleet. Tia Norfleet. Nicki Minaj is not Nicki Minaj, it's Onika. But that has nothing, what you're splitting hairs. So then they say she doesn't have a NASCAR license, but in the same sentence, they say she raced in a race and only did however many laps. So I'm like, okay, how can I race in a race and only do those amount of laps if I didn't have a license? So you're contradicting yourself. And so it just put so much negativity on my name, so much. It was just awful. They tried to really demolish me, but God is good and it's all about timing. Because at the end of the day, he was fired. He no longer works there. He couldn't get a job there if he begged. And now the tables are turning in this world and in this time. America is a melting pot of different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. So urban is no longer black. Urban is a melting pot as well. So in order to survive, they know, it's time to make a change. You need a person like me to bring that awareness and to bring that familiar, to make people comfortable and want to have someone to identify with. So long story short, they just really said some ignorant stuff about me, and it broke me down a little bit, but it made me who I am today. And I'm kind of glad it happened the way it did. But during that time, I was not. I was very distraught because I'm like, I'm just out here trying to be successful doing what I love to do. Why can't I be successful? Because I'm a black female, because I'm a real person that is not a cookie cutter person that has a perfect history or perfect background. And so I felt like that's when it really hit me that this is bigger than me. For anybody that's out there that has done things in their past that they may not be proud of or has come from a bad background or whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean you can't be successful, and that doesn't mean you can't reach for your dreams, period. And that's the message they sent to me, that I can't be successful and I can't do what I love to do because I'm this person or I'm that. And my past doesn't define me. They didn't make me, so they can't break me. So, it is what it is.
So at this point, if people want to see you race, people want to see you do your thing, how can people see your next race or check you out on the track?
Just follow me on social media. I'll keep it updated on everything that I'm doing. I'm actually revamping my website right now. Because a whole nother story. But yeah, follow me on social media, of course. I always stay up to date with everything that I'm doing. And right now we're just trying to get that sponsorship in so that we can race a full season. I'm actually talking to a team right now that are actually very, very interested in taking me on as a driver. And this is a NASCAR and ARCA team. He has ARCA cars and NASCAR cars. So I'm talking to him, and everything is looking good on the up and up. It looks very promising, and I'll keep everybody posted through social media. At Tia Norfleet on Instagram, at Tia Norfleet _34, Facebook at Tia Norfleet, Twitter at Tia Norfleet.